Hi, sixth graders. We're on lesson 3.3, which is solving multiplication equations. So set up your notebook so you have your lesson on top, learning target below, and then you'll write your notes below that. So when we're looking at multiplication problems and when we have a number and a variable, the number that is right next to the variable is called our coefficient. So remember, when we write a product of two numbers and if it's a number and a variable, remember the number always comes first, and then we don't need to include our multiplication sign because when it's right next to the variable, we know that it means multiplication. So our coefficient is 3 here, -2 here, 7 here. Here, if it's just g, our coefficient would actually be 1, but 1g is the same as g, and then -g is the same as -1g, so our coefficient would be -1 there. Okay, so you might want to write down what the coefficient is and circle a few of these. It's important to remember that 1g is the same as g, and the coefficient would be 1, and same with -g equals -1g. So with addition and subtraction equations, we did the opposite to solve for the variable. So if we were adding with the variable, we subtracted to get the variable alone, and if we were subtracting, we had to add to solve for the variable. So we still do the opposite, but instead of adding or subtracting, if we have a multiplication equation, the opposite is going to be division. So remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other. So basically what we're going to do on a multiplication equation is we're going to divide both sides by the coefficient, the number that is being multiplied by the variable. So if we look at 4x equals 32, we know that there is some number being multiplied by 4, which I know we know in our head what it is, but we're trying to figure out, well, what number times 4 equals 32? So the first thing we're going to do is our railroad track. So every time we're solving an equation like this, it is a good habit to do railroad tracks, especially in our next lesson, which is going to involve 2 steps or even more than that. So sometimes it gets kind of unorganized. So we are going to divide both sides by the coefficient, which is 4. If we break this apart, 4x over 4 is the same as 4/4 times x. 4/4 we know is 1. 1x is the same as x. So just like in our addition and subtraction equations, I like to cancel this part out because I know that 4/4 is 1. 1 times x is x. So remember, in addition and subtraction, we were trying to totally get rid of those numbers by making it 0, because we know that a variable plus or minus 0 is going to be itself. But with multiplication and division, if we got it to 0, then anything times 0 is just 0, so that wouldn't work. So that's why we need to get it to 1 so that our variable is alone. So we have x equals, and then 32 over 4, or 32 divided by 4 equals 8. And then we always plug it back in, so 4 times 8 does equal 32, so we know that that works. Okay, so if we have 4x equals -32, we're going to draw our lines. We find the side with the variable, and now we divide both sides by the coefficient. 4 over 4 is 1, so we have x equals, and we have a negative divided by a positive, so we have -8. 4 times -8 equals -32. 9x equals 81. So I'd like you to copy these problems down into your notebooks and write them step by step how I am doing it so you get used to doing the steps. You don't have to do, there's 6 of them, you don't have to do all 6, but you can pick a few. So our coefficient is 9 because it's being multiplied by x, so we're going to divide both sides by 9. 9/9 cancels out to make 1, so we have x alone, x equals 9. 8q equals 56. Divide both sides by 8. And we have q equals 7. Okay, so it's very important, just like our other addition and subtraction problems, to keep everything lined up. So notice how it's okay if I'm putting the 8 underneath both, but as long as it's lined up right underneath them and not over on the side or not over here or anything like that. So if we have negative 66 equals negative 11t, this time our variable is on this side, the right side, and so we are going to divide both sides by negative 11 because that's our coefficient. Negative 11 divided by negative 11 is just 1, so we have t equals negative 66 divided by negative 11, so we have 2 negatives, which makes a positive 6. Oops. And then we're going to rewrite it because we like to have our variable first. So t equals 6. Okay, pause me and do number 5 and 6 on your own. If you have 17x equals 51, divide both sides by 17. 17 over 17 is 1, so we have x. 51 divided by 17 equals 3. And then we have 3x equals negative 99, so divide both sides by 3, and we get x equals negative 33 because we have a negative divided by a positive. Alrighty, that is all that I have for you. I tried to keep it short and sweet for you, so make sure you go into Naiku and take the 3-3 quiz. Come to class tomorrow if you have any other questions. Have a good night, and I will see you tomorrow.